have the luxury of saying that because we're legal, we are successful, we are. But if you're an illegal immigrant in this country, you're not going to be not in a panic. If you are a woman working for the Department of Defense, you have a right to be in a panic.
Welcome, this is Global TV, where we give you the latest entertainment news and interesting stories of celebrities. Now let me present you today's dear topic, the war between Whoopi Goldberg and Mark Wahlberg. From Whoopi Goldberg's Gestapo-inspired comments to the Holocaust to Marky Mark, not so funny Wahlberg's stinging attacks on elitist Hollywood, this story is all anyone can talk about. Plus there is more or a twist, especially to Staten Island Bakery. Tune in next episode for the detailed analysis of all that's been said here. So always remember to hit that like button, subscribe, and do not forget the notification button to get updated always on your favorite celebrities. Let's jump right in. For this article, the research questionnaire be specified as what can be pieced together about Whoopi Goldberg's Holocaust controversy given the storm of words surrounding it. Whoopi Goldberg recently created controversy when she spoke on the show The View about the Holocaust. In a conversation about the removal of the book Mouse, a graphic novel about the Holocaust, she said, "The Holocaust isn't about race. It is about the tragedy of the human being to the fellow being." These remarks triggered a number of complaints, with people accusing Goldberg of downplaying the racial component of the Holocaust. Groups such as the Anti-Defamation League were quick to respond and pointed out that the Holocaust is about race since the Nazis singled out Jews as an inferior race. It was not only false but extremely outrageous, clearly insensitive to the Jewish community or to any decent person that has ears to listen to such statement from Goldberg. Her co-host tried to explain what she meant at the time when she was live on TV, but of course the bubble had burst by then. Constant pressure. In response to the increasing criticism, Goldberg came forward and apologized for her behavior. She claimed, "I hereby withdraw everything I said and I deeply regret it." However, ABC defended itself by firing her from The View for 2 weeks, which drew considerable controversy. While some of them appreciated the measures taken by the network, some of them consider the suspension to be too harsh. This controversy brought out the danger any celebrity undergoes when they choose to dialogue about sensitive historical incidents. Goldberg being a public figure and influential charismatic speaker, meaning that her words were influential. Anyway, the case is rather useful as it turned the attention to the fact of greater accountability when a person becomes public, and the need to know more before launching a loud statement. Enter Mark Wahlberg, Hollywood's bubble critic. This man has proved to be one of the most humble celebrities in the Hollywood industry now. Often criticized for being out of touch with reality, given his action-packed movies such as The Fighter and Ted, Wahlberg has at some points decried the industry. In a recent interview in a podcast program, he said, "Hollywood lives in a bubble. Those survey questions don't reflect what the average Joe or Jane has to go through." Although Wahlberg did not specifically speak about Whoopi Goldberg, he said that shortly after her Auschwitz scandal, people thought it was aimed at her. Wahlberg on what he described as mere uninformed opinions peddling themselves as experts. Critics appreciated this aspect of his critique, as many Americans employing the star's input as a source of information tend to believe that Hollywood celebrities overemphasize the simplicity of the issues. This is not the first time when Wahlberg expressed his concern over elitism of Hollywood elites. In the past, he has called on celebrities to keep out of politics and accused them of turning off voters during the U.S. presidential campaign in 2016. He said that most celebrities are out of touch with the average Joe, something that seems to have endeared him to the non-celebrity audience. Nonetheless, what Wahlberg said is not without controversy before ending in high notes. Some people cannot understand why someone who committed racially motivated crimes in his young age has a right to judge others. However, over the years, Wahlberg has tried to reform and is an exemplary good guy, frequently stressing on his religion and family. The contrast between Goldberg's bold remarks and Wahlberg's critiques of Hollywood's detachment reflects a larger issue: this emergence of a widening rift between celebrities and the public that those celebrities purport to speak for. It is refreshing that Wahlberg has the courage to wake people up. An industry that is not always very good at balancing too much advocacy with normalcy. The bakery feud, oppositional discourse, or when desserts turn political. Unbelievably, Whoopi Goldberg recently crossed swords with a tiny bakery firm located in Staten Island. Goldberg in her social media post accused Halterman's bakery of denying her an order because of her political stance. She wrote, "This bakery hate me because of my politics. The society should not allow such discrimination." Soon enough, the message was shared by many of Goldberg's followers, who slammed the bakery in question. However, the owner of the bakery, Jill Halterman Bowers, later disputed the report to give out her own side of the story. As has been described by Bowers, the refusal had no relation to politics of Goldberg. She said, "At the moment, we are experiencing a lot of construction and are unable to fulfill large orders." Nonetheless, women's rights activists did not spare the bakery headed by Bowers and flooded it with terrible comments, revolting remarks, and even threats. However, people from the local area came to the support of the business, and people continued to wait in line to spend their money there. People loved the story of the bakery, and it went from being a small local bakery to a beacon against cancel culture. This incident serves to illustrate why it is unadvisable for celebrities to open a case in public. It is rather disappointing that Goldberg failed to verify the facts because she wrongfully affected a small business that has difficulties with repairs. There was also a rather interesting bakery feud, which was a part of Mark Wahlberg's earlier criticism of Hollywood detachment from real life. Finally, the bakery example is a prime narrative that shows the world how unpalatable it is to exercise power inappropriately. It also puts into question who is leveraging whom in a business partnership, especially when small business owners venture into contracting someone they admire from movies or TV shows. Whoopi Goldberg, bold or reckless? However, Whoopi seems to have made a business out of in-your-face, politically incorrect assertiveness. Starting with her early Amen comedic sketches in the 1980s, up to her recognition and her acting achievements and involvement in the View TV show, Goldberg has not hesitated to court controversy. This behavior has made her earn all admiration and criticism from her fans and detractors over the years due to her willingness to cover complicated issues. But her recent actions have given people a lot to worry about as her performance was questionable. The latter was accused of reciting what she says without much insight of or into the areas, subjects, topics she discusses. And that outrageousness is not new. The comments on the Holocaust and the rivalry between bakeries are some of the many ways that her audacity has gotten her into trouble. This is not the first time Goldberg has been in the receiving end of criticisms. She, in particular, was expelled from the National Hockey League after joking about then-President George W. Bush in 2004. Later this year, she stormed off the set of The View during a discussion, causing her co-host to try and salvage the situation. However, Goldberg is still one of the most well-regarded celebrities in Hollywood to this final stage. Due to advocating for women's rights, equal rights of the LGBTQ+ community, as well as Black people, Daniel has become a pioneer. Still, as her latest scandals demonstrate, even pioneers may slip if they do not always think globally while acting locally. Goldberg's dilemma for the future will be to strike the right tone, an adventurous one yet socially conscious one. Yes, she has a very large following, and this is an opportunity for her to encourage positive change. If only she knew. Indeed, this can be seen as the redemption thesis, or the idea that the flawed liberalism of the 90s TV drama is hypercritical and self-hypocritical in the same breath, as is the case with Mark Wahlberg. Despite the fact that Mark Wahlberg's criticisms of Hollywood's liberalism are reasonable, the same comments are also directed back to him. When Wahlberg was a teenager, he was in multiple racially motivated attacks, where he had attacked some Vietnamese men and had harassed Black children. They were indulging in criminal activities and caused a massive shadow over his early professional life. In recent years, Wahlberg has owned up to his previously offending behavior. He has referred to those evil acts as the acts committed by a spirited young man, and has since done all he could to compensate for the wasted efforts. Most recently through his contributions to charity and his commitment as a father and a man of faith, Wahlberg seems to be portraying a transformation and renewal of his persona. Yet, there is considerably less agreement out there. Critics set aside point out that Wahlberg's tremendous impact means that he no longer has the right touching on criticizing other people, particularly on subject areas like accountability for and social justice. Some view his character as having a redemption story, and people can change and use what life threw at them for a positive purpose. Wahlberg provided specific criticism to Hollywood, and these are rooted on his premise that the movie industry needs to re-establish the link with the viewers. Although his comments may be understood to some extent by most people, they also work like a signal that those who are in the public eye are supposed to be better. For Wahlberg, it is trying to deal with his previous life and his modern crusade for change. Yet his is an inspiring redemption narrative that raises as many questions about popular esteem as it does about second chances. This is the main reason why Haig presented in TV show is either considered hypocritical or an advocate depends solely on sources' interpretation of his development. And that's the end of our long analysis of the Whoopi Goldberg and Mark Wahlberg situation. What is your opinion? Was Whoopi wrong, or is she being persecuted? And is Mark Wahlberg's criticism of Hollywood justified, or do his past actions allow criticism? Let us know in the comments. That concludes the video you just saw, so if you liked it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Press the bell icon to never miss a thing, and go watch our next video. Hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for the next episode.